What's the perfect size for a World of Warcraft server? I'm glad you asked that question. I've been thinking about that lately. Hey, I'm Dwarf Lord. Classic WoW floats my boat. Let's answer that question. So whether we're talking about Classic 2019 or Classic Era, Season of Mastery, Season of Discovery, I think the number is roughly the same. The ideal number should allow for no server queue, no login queue, but also enough people that whatever level you're at, whatever it is you want to do, you can find people to do that thing in a reasonable amount of time. It's not fun to have to sit in a battleground queue for an hour or have to look for days and days for a tank for your dungeon. In my experience, I found that a server that is at a medium to high pop where it's very much medium or just barely a high pop, I think those are the sweet spots. Now, Blizzard doesn't share what number of players will make it go from, low to medium, medium to high, high to full, or full to locked for that matter. But looking at server censuses and kind of following the numbers over the last 2 years, it seems roughly that we go from low to medium when we get in that 5, 6, 7,000 range, and full is around 10, maybe closer to 15 to 20,000 players online at the same time. Now, I actually think that having 20,000 players, that's getting a little bit crowded. If you followed my videos, we celebrated together when Whitemane Classic Era, as well as Firemall and all the other servers changed in their population. And, when one would go from low pop to medium, and then medium to high, and then high to full. And when Season of Discovery released, the populations dropped back down to around the medium range. In fact, the first week, it was a bit of a ghost town, but it rebounded very quickly. And lately, the population has felt really good. Like, there's people all over the world, even though it's a medium population server. And I know that yellow text scares people. Like, medium? I'm not so sure about that realm. I think I should go to the high pop or the full pop. So if we look at some census numbers prior to the release of Season of Discovery, Firemaw, that's the European PvP realm, the super big one, quote unquote big, it was full and it was hovering around at peak times 7,500 plus Alliance players and about 5,000 or so Horde players at the peak hours. So this is ironforgepro.com, and what it does is it takes logs and then it looks at how many people are raiding, how many people are in the logs. So this is going to take a look at not the total population, but rather the amount of, in this case, level 40s on Season of Discovery and level 60s on Classic Era. So if we click on Classic Era, what we're going to see is that for US West, that is the realm I play on, Whitemane, we have 3,100 and let's just call it 2,600 Horde players, Alliance and Horde players. That's a lot of people. That's going to fill a lot of raids, like a lot of raids. That's a really good size server. The PvE Mancrick is a little less, and same for Pyrewood Village. There's more people on the PvP realms. And then if we go to Firemaw EU English, we have roughly the same as Whitemane. A little more Alliance, a little less Horde. Now, these feel great. This realm population feels awesome. Could it be a tiny bit more, like an extra 1,000? Sure. But once we start getting more and more and more, honestly, it feels way too full. Now, if we look at Season of Discovery, I'm on Living Flame US, although my number is not here because I'm not even level 40 yet, and a lot of people are not level 40 yet. But we have, let's just say, roughly 10,000 per side, sometimes a little more, like 12, 13,000 per side on these different realms. But we also have some realms like Chaos Bolt, which is a lower population than Classic Era is. So even some of the SOD realms are less than what Classic Era is. And you know what? I'm pretty sure the people on Chaos Bolt, they're having a fine time as well. But by a lot of people's definitions, Chaos Bolt would be a dead realm. Lavalash is getting a little quiet. The Horde side not looking so hot there. But even Chaos Bolt, I think, is an ample amount of population to get things done. You see people in the world, like everywhere. Whether it's World PvP or Battlegrounds. After the SOD release, Alterac value queues really slowed down, and now they're back to firing full steam ahead, which is good for the people looking to rank up. So now we know a little bit about how the era population is doing, but let's talk about SOD. A full realm like Wild Growth, a server census has shown that on the Alliance side at peak time, there's 50,000 people online at once. Now, is more better? Not necessarily. And conversely, does that mean that Era is dead? Well, SOD has 50 times the people on that one server. That means Era is dead. Well, hold on. We're talking about what is the perfect realm size. And remember, we discussed in the beginning of the video, no queue time and enough people to do what you want to do. Now, both of those requirements are fulfilled on your SOD and Era realms. There's no queues and you're able to accomplish what you want to do. There's enough people to do what you want to do. So is Era dead? Clearly not. Because remember, if you have like 2,000 to 5,000 players, that's a lot of players still to do your 20 mans, your 40 mans, your dungeons, your low level quests and low level dungeons and world PvP and battlegrounds and just AFKing and Stormwind. Whatever it is when you want to do, you can do it with that many people. On Alliance, I'm going to estimate that there's around 2 to 3, maybe more, thousand people online at peak hours. And of course, people always ask, are there low-level players? Yes, there are, although the majority are high-level players because the game's been out for 4 years. So most of the stuff is happening at high levels. And let's face it, the high-level stuff is more fun. It is fun for a short period of time to gear up fresh characters. And that's why there's all that hype with SOD. It's like, oh, let me gear up this character, level them to 25, gear them up. That happens very quick, and then you kind of run out of things to do unless you want to do that with another character and another character and another character. Some people do, some people don't. It's all good either way. But like I said, it's important to remember that more is not always better. So if you have 50,000 people on a realm, well, you need to layer that. I see like 10 to 20 layers sometimes on Living Flame, let alone on some of the mega realms. And so it's almost like you're getting divided up into these servers, layers that are essentially what Whitemane is right now. Although, of course, sometimes when I'm playing SOD, I get onto a dead server and I'm there in Ashenville like, well, crap, me and these 3 other people can't kill the PvP boss here. Also, keep in mind that recently all of the bots on Classic Era were banned, although there are a small amount trickling back in. Kind of feels like Cybermen from Doctor Who. So yeah, Classic Era feels perfect right now. The population is really good. We have room for more people, but I wouldn't want it to be too crazy full. There was a time when the server almost felt too big. There was too much commotion going on. It was kind of nuts. We even had some layers for a short period of time on Whitemane, and ultimately they were removed because people complained and didn't like those, although that caused lag in Stormwind. And so, you know, like I said, it's at a really good population amount right now, and Classic Era is not going anywhere. Classic Era is at a really, really good healthy population, and so no, it's not dead. Do you look at a medium population realm and think like, ooh, that doesn't look so good? There is reason to be concerned about that. If we look at Season of Mastery, realms literally died. They didn't have enough players. And so I get it why some players have the fear, like, oh, I don't want to be on a one that's kind of like, it's good, but if it starts dipping, then it's going to be bad. I'd rather be on one that is overpopulated. So yeah, I kind of think of it like living in the big city versus like a smaller town. In Classic Era is definitely not like middle of nowhere, population 6 people. There's a lot of people there, but it's not crazy big where you need to travel 1 hour to get across town. You know what I'm saying? All right, I'm out of here. Go ahead and post all your nasty comments, because I know people who play SOD hate Classic Era with a passion. You're already typing that nasty comment right now. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked what you saw, please comment and subscribe, and I would love to chat with you. I'm streaming now most evenings on YouTube Live here right on this channel, so pop in and say hello. Dwarf Lord out.